Well, a short time ago, I spoke with Saudi's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs here, Abdul bin Ahmed al-Jabeer, and I asked if he expected any US military action against Iran and if the kingdom was communicating anything to the US about their views on that. Here's what he told me.
We believe in dialogue and we believe in solving any disagreements at the negotiating table. And we believe that instability does not support the prospects for development in any region. And we hope that issues can be resolved in that manner.
I pressed him about whether Saudi believes that the regime is at its weakest point so far and what might happen should it be toppled. Here's what he told me.
It is really up to the Iranian people to decide. I don't think that I'm in a position to tell another country how it should be governed.
But the kingdom is watching the situation very closely at this point, I assume.
I believe everybody is watching the situation very closely and everybody is hoping that the situation can be resolved in a manner that minimizes any kind of damage.
Is there any enthusiasm here or in this region for American military action at this point?
I believe that the region has suffered a lot in terms of conflicts over the past 50, 60 years, in particular over the past 20 years. Whether you look at Syria, whether you look at Lebanon, Gaza, Sudan, Somalia, Yemen, Iraq, Afghanistan, in other areas. And the region needs stability, and the people of the region would hope are working towards generating that stability so that we can focus on development and nation building rather than conflict. So anytime we have an opportunity to work on trying to calm things and mediate things, we do this. We've done it in Syria, we've done it in the past in Lebanon. We're working in terms of Gaza with the international community. We're trying to mediate in Sudan and Somalia, in Yemen, in other places between India. And so our objective is stability and calm so that we can focus our resources on building a better future for our people.
Ambassador, how do you read what the president is now saying versus what he has been saying?
Well, I think that's the sound of Donald Trump walking backward. That doesn't necessarily indicate what he's going to do. I think this is Trump saying one thing one day and another thing the next day. There's no doubt that there were mass murders of protesting civilians on Saturday and Sunday night. And the figure of 2,000, 2,500 dead, I think, will turn out tragically to be very low. 10,000, 15,000, when you get reports from all over the country, it was bad. Now, the number killed on Monday and Tuesday night was much lower because people were not going out in many of the places that Western journalists and others can identify because they didn't want to get killed. So it doesn't mean that the conduct of the regime has gotten better. It means people stayed indoors. But I think without some American action to underline what Trump has previously said, if we basically do nothing, I think it will be a blow to his credibility because he did draw red lines and the regime did cross them. And as of right this moment, we haven't done anything in response.
Yeah, I mean, to Caitlin's point, he had said, you know, if you're killing people in the streets, that was one kind of red line, and then suddenly it became executions. Essentially, I mean, they have been executing people in the streets. The security services, as we know, as you said, we don't know the full number, but whether it's execution by hanging, as was going to be the case in Mr. Sultani, by all reports, or whether they're being slaughtered in the streets, it's still executions.
Sure, but it's Trump looking for the off-ramp.
Yeah. To what extent do you think has the president backed himself into a corner with those vows on social media, you know, telling Iranian protesters to keep doing what they're doing, to try to get into the streets, to keep protesting?
Yeah, look, the famous Obama red line in Syria was if I see them moving chemical weapons around, we're going to do something about it. And he didn't, to our detriment, and I think the same thing applies here. Look, it is true, and I think acknowledged almost universally at this point, that the regime is at the weakest point it's been since it came to power in the revolution in 1979, for a variety of reasons. The economic reasons we see manifest in these protests, but because of dissent by the youth, ethnic conflict, women who staged massive protest over 2 years ago after the murder of Mahsa Amini. The regime is deeply unpopular. It's thoroughly corrupt inside. This is a moment when we could have regime change. I think the U.S. could assist that in multiple ways, which we're not doing. And if we miss it this time, there may not be another occasion until the supreme leader dies and they have to find a new supreme leader. And in the meantime, Iran will continue its nuclear weapons program, continue its support for international terrorism, and continue repressing the people of Iran.
What do you think the U.S. options would be militarily, or through intelligence means, or other means, in terms of trying to get about regime change?
Right. Well, I think first you have to decide on your objective, and my objective would be regime change. So what I would look for would be strikes, at least the opening strikes, that would impair the power of the regime to repress the Iranian people, and that would instill in the people the feeling that at least the United States is prepared to do something to help them. So that would seem to me, after clearing away whatever air defenses Iran may have to safeguard any planes we're going to be sending in, I would go after headquarters for the Revolutionary Guard and their Basiji militia, who are really the thugs killing most of the people in the streets. I'd go after their bases and facilities, and we'd be very discriminate in how we tried to do that. I would go again after the nuclear program, the ballistic missile production program. I'd go after the Iranian Navy. I'd say to the regime, we are going to take you apart piece by piece. And to the opposition, now is the time to go and look for commanders in the regular military, even in the Revolutionary Guard, to come over to the opposition. I think the rank and file in the military knows how bad shape the country's in, and the opposition could use them breaking away from the regime.
We have been notified, and pretty strongly, but we'll find out what that all means. But we've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopping. And there's no plan for executions or an execution or executions. So I've been told that on good authority. We'll find out about it. I'm sure if it happens, we'll all be very upset, including you will be very upset. But that's just gotten to me, some information that the killing has stopped.
Mr. President, Iran, you said that the killing has stopped. Who told you that the killings have stopped?
We have been informed by very important sources on the other side, and they've said the killing has stopped and the executions won't take place. There was supposed to be a lot of executions today, and that the executions won't take place. And we're going to find out. I mean, I'll find out after this. You'll find out. But we've been told on good authority, and I hope it's true. Who knows, right? Who knows?
We've
Crazy
seen the body
world.
bags, so how do you trust
No,
them?
you've seen that over the last few days, and they said people were shooting at them with guns, and they were shooting back, and it's one of those things. But they told me that there'll be no executions, and so I hope that's true.
Does this mean military action is now off the table against Iran?
We're going to watch and see what the process is, but we were given a very good statement by people that are aware of what's going on.
Are they considering military action?
I mean, when they say no executions, everyone is talking about a lot of executions were taking place today. We were just told no executions. I hope that's true. That's a big thing.